Donald Trump is a master of manipulation. He understands the power of spectacle, of crafting a narrative that bypasses logic and appeals directly to emotion. Like a seasoned magician, he uses distraction and misdirection, keeping his audience focused on the shiny object while the real trick is performed out of sight. His rallies are the epitome of this. They are carefully orchestrated events designed to evoke a sense of excitement, anger, and ultimately, unwavering loyalty. The music, the chants, the carefully chosen speakers all contribute to a shared experience that feels powerful and real, even when the facts being presented are demonstrably false. This is Trump's reality distortion field, a term coined to describe Steve Jobs' similar ability to convince people of almost anything. Within this field, up is down, black is white, and truth is whatever Trump says it is. It's a dangerous game, and millions are buying into it. But how exactly does he do it? What are the tools and tactics he employs to such devastating effect? Let's break down the Trump playbook and expose the methods behind the madness. Before we dissect Trump's techniques, let's be clear about what we mean by manipulation and brainwashing. Brainwashing implies a complete erasure of previous beliefs and their replacement with a new, externally imposed ideology. While Trump's tactics are undeniably powerful, they don't quite reach that level of control. Manipulation, on the other hand, is a more subtle process. It involves exploiting existing biases, fears, and desires to influence thoughts and behaviors. It thrives on misinformation, emotional appeals, and the creation of an us versus them mentality. This is Trump's bread and butter. He doesn't need to brainwash his followers because he understands their deepest anxieties and aspirations. He knows their anger at a system they feel has failed them, their fear of economic insecurity and cultural change. He taps into these emotions, offering himself as the savior, the only one who can make America great again. By presenting himself as the solution to their problems, he creates a powerful emotional bond. His followers are no longer just supporting a politician, they are joining a movement, a fight against a common enemy. This is how he builds his base and maintains their unwavering loyalty, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. One of Trump's most effective tools is repetition. He understands that the more something is repeated, the more likely people are to believe it, regardless of its veracity. This is a tactic straight out of the propaganda playbook, and he wields it with ruthless efficiency. Fake news is perhaps the most glaring example. By constantly labeling any media coverage critical of him as fake news, he effectively discredits legitimate journalism and sows seeds of doubt in the minds of his followers. This allows him to control the narrative, dismissing any inconvenient truths as fabricated attacks by a biased media. But it goes beyond fake news. He repeats simple, emotionally charged phrases like "build the wall," "lock her up," and "drain the swamp" ad nauseum. These slogans are easy to remember, resonate with his base's anxieties, and reinforce his image as a strongman fighting against a corrupt establishment. This constant barrage of simplistic messaging creates a feedback loop. The more his supporters hear these phrases, the more ingrained they become in their minds. This makes it increasingly difficult for them to process information that challenges their worldview, further solidifying their belief in Trump and his message. Trump's rallies are legendary for their raucous energy, but beneath the surface lies a darker undercurrent: fear. He is a master at stoking fear and anxiety, painting a bleak picture of a nation on the brink of collapse. Illegal immigrants are pouring across the border, stealing your jobs and threatening your way of life. His opponents are not just political rivals, they are crooked, evil, and enemies of the people. This language is inflammatory and divisive, deliberately designed to create a sense of us versus them. He wants his supporters to feel under siege, surrounded by enemies both foreign and domestic. This creates a climate of fear and uncertainty, making them more receptive to his message of strength and his promises of restoring law and order. Fear is a powerful motivator. It can drive people to make irrational decisions, to embrace authoritarian figures who promise safety and security. By exploiting these primal instincts, Trump creates a climate of fear that benefits him politically. He thrives on chaos and division, knowing that the more afraid people are, the more likely they are to seek his brand of strongman leadership.